Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of this replay, and between Dimaga and Satiini here on Blistering. I'm going to go ahead and start it back up. We already see Satiini doing a lot of effective harassment against Dimaga, taking down a lot of drones. Take a look at the losses. There's a really large difference between the losses. However, army-wise and production-wise, there is not really that much of a difference. Dimaga will be able to macro up fairly easily. One Banshee still flying around, perhaps doing a little bit more harassment. There is a fast expansion hatchery coming in there, and I do not think Satiini knows about that yet. No, does not know about that one building there. Now Medevacs coming in as well. Are we getting any Thors? No Thors. Just those were. Why was the armory built if there is no weapons upgrade? Perhaps just for the sake of being able to produce those units, or produce Thors, if in fact the game goes that way. Banelings are now in play. Roach Warren. So we have Banelings and Roach Warrens. I do not see, and we also have a Spire being produced as well. So Spire is being produced, and now Creep Tumor is going to go ahead and move on out, try to spread the Creep Tumor across the map, trying to increase the movement speed of all of those units. Banshee quickly taking down one Zergling that was trying to capture that Xel'Naga Watchtower. Gonna get another Zergling as a sacrificial unit. There it goes. Banshee with 7 kills, down to 5 hit points. But yeah, this is still anyone's game. Both players just playing pretty conservatively, and Dimaga is still in this game, even though his army is very small. If looking at the larva count, he will be able to produce a lot of units very quickly, very easily, based upon all of these queens. And now already sitting on 8 larvae, and will be able to continue injecting larvae and trying to produce more and more. Now coming in is an army from Satiini, 2 siege tanks, a couple of a dozen or so marines, or 2 command rows, and now Marauders now moving out to try to take down these Creep Tumors. Creep Tumors now taking down siege tanks, sieging up and taking down that building, or that last Creep Tumor over there. One drone almost walks straight into near certain death as these siege tanks are now going to move on in and start blasting through this front door. There's 3 medevacs in the air offering a lot of support. It's going to be fairly difficult to focus down any units though. And now interesting to see how this is really going to work. Marauders now pushing on in, and this is a very strong army. Satiini with a very just Marine, Marauder, and Siege Tank army with medevacs pushing in, causing towards aggression, and really microing very well here, using that extra range. And no concussive shell research though, so those Marauders are not slowing down those Hydralisks or those Queens. That's a little bit of an issue, as that would have been better kiting action by far, but these Marines and Marauders able to just pummel through this whole entire that Zerg front door. And now Satiini takes the game. Satiini really timed this aggression really well. Just a quick recap on the game. Satiini timed its aggression very well, consistently used very small tactical armies in order to deal damage. At certain times, there's only 1, 2, 3, 2 Banshees at the most, just moving around and forcing the Zerg player to spend his larva on drones. Now, the real limiting factor for a Zerg player is the larva production. So if you can force a Zerg player to consistently spend his larva on drones, his army is going to be significantly weaker. However, if you don't capitalize on that, if you don't push in at the right time, and those queens and that hatchery, the Zerg production, that macro production is so fast, it is going to be very difficult. So Dimaga or Satiini pushing in with a very well timed harassment into a quick macro of Marines, Marauders, Siege Tanks with medevacs, and then moved on in. Another thing I liked about Satiini is he can essentially produce any building that or any unit that he wanted to. Satiini getting a little bit confused here, getting double engineering bays, but for some reason not grabbing any of those weapon upgrades. And yeah, that seems to be an issue with the decals right now. The decals over here on this building is that little plus sign, but still on the rest of the buildings only had, I think it's Raynor's Terran army. Anyways, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I think this is game 1 in a series that I have. I will be pushing out, I will be casting some of these other games as well. Thank you.